definitely an interesting one, chat. You know, kind of looking at this particular situation. We talked about this a little bit Wednesday, but it has definitely escalated quite a bit. So I kind of want to back up just a little bit and talk about what happened the other day and what has kind of led to where we are now. So first up, as you guys remember, this whole situation with the Twitch knock came out, the knocking, which everybody just, you know, hates. It's horrible. It's a really bad function. You know, Twitch needs to take it away. I think we're all on the same page about that. This thing really fucking sucks. So if you don't know what it is, basically allows for people to, while you're live at any time, to knock on your channel and start collabing with you instantaneously. It's not safe. It's intrusive. It's really bad. So when you do the knock, it turns on your camera, but it does not turn on the person's camera that you are knocking on, if that makes sense. So if I went to Zentrea and knocked on their channel, it's not going to turn on Zentrea's channel or in their camera. It's going to turn on mine. So I want to make that very clear. I know a lot of people are saying it's bad. It is bad. It's intrusive, but I do want to clear up that misinformation because that was definitely a big thing going around. Everybody's like, oh, it turns your camera on. Well, if they knock on your channel, it doesn't turn your camera on. Only immediately for the people that start the knocking. That's kind of where this stood, right, chat? Now, most of the community was very much like, this sucks. You know, even like Shy Lily was like, I want a feature. Zentrea was like, I think it's very intrusive and dangerous. Pumpkin Potion, this is super intrusive. You know, Bal's like, what in God's name, everybody think this is a good idea. I even said, why we trade the host feature. By the way, bring back the host feature. So all in all, chat, just a really bad call from Twitch. Everybody not about it. I think the one thing that I want to remind you all of is, you know, for us, collaboration, especially in the VTuber space, it's planned, right? We all go and talk to each other beforehand. We like to plan our collabs. Nobody is very last minute, like Twitch is trying to push everybody. So this really just goes against our culture and goes against what we like with collaboration. But here's the thing, Doke. It's okay to disagree and have different opinions about stuff, right? We welcome that, and especially my community. That's okay. It's okay to have a different opinion. Obviously, Zentrea felt this way, so I want to talk about ENVtoaster's reaction to this. So, of course, this starts right here, chat. Yeah, this is where it gets kind of interesting. So, ENVtoaster tweeting out. I'm sorry. Now, when people ask me what is being a Twitch ambassador to me, I can say I told him to make this feature, and it actually heckin' did it. So, a lot of people are upset by ENVtoaster because, you know, they had some direct influence in making this knock function a thing. A lot of people are upset by that, right? They're like, oh, you directly had involvement in it. I don't want you guys to go attack ENVtoaster over this, right? Like, it's okay to make a mistake and fuck up something, right? Like, you made this call and you want to take it back, right? I totally get that, but that's not what happened. So, ENVtoaster said, I muted this a while ago because people were full of brain rot, telling me, please add better features for collabing, making collab organizing and communication easier. It's not the same as me deciding how exactly it was executed. That's a fair point, right? But, of course, the bigger issue here is this tweet right here, which is the amount of people saying no one asked for this. Bro, none of y'all asked for anything. You actually need to grow on Twitch because you have no idea what you're doing. Collab content is proven to be extremely effective, but you refuse to engage in it because you're terrified of people. This was just rude. I disagree with this. There's lots of people that know what they're doing and they don't need to be berated because they don't like this feature. You cannot like the feature and still know what you're doing. Like, a very rude post. Obviously, there's a good ratio on this. A lot of people are upset by it. There was another post that we reviewed where they were making a joke about the whole Twitter drama with the title in their Twitch stream. To be honest, I didn't really take that as insulting. I just took it more as like, you know, sarcasm and making light of the situation. But this to me was kind of rude. When I look at this situation, chat, I said, all right, you know what? Toaster is probably very defensive about this whole situation. I think that Toaster is probably just, you know, it was kind of like their idea, so they feel proud of it. And they're obviously upset that other people are upset about it. But I do think that it is fair to call this out, right? Like, I think ENVtoaster is a horrible person when I first read this. No. I didn't really think so. I thought ENVtoaster was just, you know, a little misguided in what they thought was correct and was way too defensive about it. But then, chat, everything this morning, it changed. And there is a new document that has been released. So we got to take a look at it. Yeah, guess what? It got worse. It got worse, chat. The document, chat. Before we get into this document, let me ask you all, how did you feel about this tweet in particular? Again, you can feel about however you want. For me, I'm like, it's rude, but it's not the, you know, end of the world, right? So we're going to see how bad it is. Yeah, very unprofessional. That's very true. Serena tweeting out, we're tired of ENVtoaster behind the scene behavior going unchecked and allowing them to mistreat women while still benefiting from his position as a Twitch ambassador and his status in the VTuber community. So, guys, we're going to take a look here at this document. It's not looking good. But I I do want to talk about Kimmy also putting some extra screenshots as well. So we will definitely take a look at those and, of course, look at some of these reactions. This is a pretty long document, chat, so I hope you're ready. Everybody buckle the fuck up. Put your seatbelts on, and here we go. So the many stories that has manipulated her and cornered by evil toaster, his constant overbearing and wanted intimate behavior towards others, his forceful entry past boundaries, and more. Kind of sounds like they really push a lot of boundaries, were constantly overbearing, just unwanted intimate behavior. Really crossed a lot of lines. So, disclaimer, the following document is not made to entice harassment or harm. I will say that again, chat. That's a very good point. Do not go and harass evil toaster or anybody else, all right, chat? I'm gonna say it again. Do not go harass anybody. We're going to talk about it. We're going to dive into it, and that should be enough for you, all right? So we want to bring awareness to his repeated behavior to help others who may have experienced this and not realize his manipulation, prevent more people from falling victim to him, and keep a public account of all experiences. So I think it's really sad that we got to this point where, this person has to, release a document about it. But if we feel like this person isn't going to take accountability, here we are, chat. So there is a power imbalance. In the content creator space, evil toaster is connected to a lot of public figures with numbers backing them. Beyond that, these public figures are incredibly respected within their community, very much like Centrea, Fruit, lots of very, very big people. So you gotta understand, this person is at the upper echelon when it comes to VTubers, right? They're up there with the big wigs. And so you gotta understand that this person has power, right? They have a lot of reputation, they got a lot of clout. It's a big person, right? So I think it is important to acknowledge that, which is a fair point. When people have spoken out, evil toaster purposely ignores any and all trauma so as to not call attention to it. Okay, I mean, that's fair. A lot of people, when you get to a certain size, do not call attention to drama. I don't really find like a big issue with that unless it's something that really needs to be spoken about, like, harassment or something like that, right? However, behind the scenes, he constantly badmouths people. It feels wrong to set high-profile content creators. All right, that is obviously a problem. This is widely known behind the scenes. So people have valid reasoning thinking they'd be ostracized by a good portion of VTuber community, never spoke out against his actions, all right? If people are scared to speak out against Toaster, it's not difficult to understand why people give him the benefit of the doubt. A little push boundaries that they normally would not. So, does that make sense, everybody? There is power balance. Maybe got away with some stuff they shouldn't have got away with, which happens a lot more than you think it does, unfortunately. If somebody's really big, people don't want to disagree with them or speak out against them because they're really worried that, something's going to come back on them. Evil Toaster is under scrutiny for belittling other content creators, for disagreeing with the proposed Twitch feature knock, ignoring people's rightful criticism, going so far as to mock the situation in his third title when he went live the following day. So this is what I was talking about, guys. This was the title that he put. I could see a lot of people looking this go, yikes. But for me, I'm just like, okay, yeah, you're being smug about it, but that's kind of it. My personal experience. So I'm including my personal experience, Evil Toaster. I want people to know I'm not impartial when it comes to Evil Toaster. The Twitch ambassador situation is a completely separate incident, and I would have commented on anyone's demeaning words towards the community they're meant to represent. It's writing this, there's still to mention the backlash he's faced with an apology for a remark. But it also further proved to me that Evil Toaster will never take accountability for what he's done behind closed doors, even if he won't do it in a public instance. So really just saying, I'm not going to take accountability for it, even for what I've done behind closed doors or even in a public instance. There we go, guys. Here is the pushing of alleged boundaries. So Evil Toaster and I became friends 2 years ago. I thought Toaster was a great person. However, looking back, I fear I was under quite a bit of manipulation regarding Toaster. One of the first things Toaster would tell to anyone is he craves attention mostly from women, from what I've seen. And this was a tweet that he put out. Every convention is another reminder that I'm not one of the girlies. I'm never going to get that kind of treatment and affection they give each other, though I try to connect with them. I've gotten better dealing with that fact over time, but it still hurts to think about. I mean, this is just a personal issue, I'm sorry, but that's a personal thing, right? So, whatever. Maybe slightly parasocial, but, we'll put that to the side, which is going to make me think more about how things would be different otherwise. Here, let me read this again. I'm not accepting the man class position anytime soon. There's no point that'd be better for that. Who would tell me them any more than my feelings? Who would let me touch them? There's so many instances of this being in front of me my whole life where people I'm genuinely good friends with will stop me at a point where they let women they know less go past. I can't really hate anyone for it, though. I just hate the game. But who doesn't? What? This is weird. It's worded weird. I think it's just genuinely complaining that he's not able to get close to people, especially females and ladies. He also expressed this sentiment to me many times. We give our friendship, as you would see above. He desperately wanted intimacy with women, which he framed as casually saying, I love you, calling people wife, and genuinely wholesome flirting. All right, so a little bit of pushing boundaries. This turns out not to be true, but you can read in the entirety of this talk. Even the screenshot above He says, who would let me touch them? I also want to point out that Toaster understands they're seen as a man and have, as they call it, a main class position. Now, Toaster does identify as a non-binary, from what I remember. Likes to say he's aware of this, but then continues to pressure women, despite knowing he's not one of the girlies, and frankly, isn't because of his gender, his perceived gender, but because how he constantly pushes boundaries. It makes people, mostly women, uncomfortable. Okay, so basically, to clarify, Toaster is a little pushy when it comes to stuff, but on top of that, it has nothing to do with perceived gender. In this person's opinion, it's more about them making people uncomfortable, which kind of judging by these lines, I mean, let's look at the receipts, right? But it's not looking good. Let's see, we get too close and you wanted a more. We both had to deny ourselves something we'd want to explore. A crush is just a crush anymore. It's easy to cease because compared to the relationship I have now, there's no reason to want another one when it just jeopardizes this one. I'm just thinking it'd be a shame if it came to a point where we had to hold ourselves back as but you can still value me despite the potential need to deny yourself something and condition yourself. So it looks like CC just setting a boundary. You know, I already have like another relationship. It's easy to cease because there's no true reason to want another person. I want to let Toaster know I really admire his intelligence and kindness. And while he saw his friend crush as something more than it was, I still expressed him that I did not want him in any way. I just use that term with a lot of my friends as a way to express my admiration. Okay, fair enough. Later on, I expressed to him how men in my past life led me as a friend because they know they won't get anything more out of me. He says he won't, but then says, while I came out and fine with not going past any boundaries, you decide for how close you should be. I do also hope that you don't end up in a situation where you want to be closer, but either feel like you can't or are forced not to. I would leave if that happened, of course, but it'd be sad. They're just, assuring that, yeah, we can be friends, but of course it's for, their sake and not evil Toaster. I mean, so far just some pretty personal stuff. I mean, definitely kind of a little bit of manipulation, but let's keep reading here. Pushing boundaries is typical Toaster. Further on into our friendship. So further in a relationship, I brought up how uncomfortable I was with the way you talked about women. Some names are omitted. I think the way you talk about women bothers me. What, why, where? I did like how you spoke about Milky once she left. And felt emotional attached towards you. What part of that? Then you talked about Kisa made a comment about her incapability to say no to other people, which came out bitter to me. I think you're looking for romantic relationships rather than platonic ones. Or maybe you're feeling the need for close platonic relationships like a best friend. I hardly even have a baseline level of platonic friendship, save a few people, and all those people have massively less time for me than I have for them. So far into this document, but I'm seeing the evil Toasters. They're really wanting like some kind of like relationship out of something. It's not really happening. They're kind of pushing some boundaries. Are you talking about me specifically? I was unfortunate I didn't even get to play Apex with her yesterday. Well, funny coincidence since that happened like 3 times. No, actually, trying to schedule anything with her is hard because she's so popular. I don't think she's the type to say no, which is concerning in itself. Toaster never mentioned having the possibility of a relationship with Milky and becoming more intimate. However, Milky had only ever expressed friendship and platonic intimacy that comes from that. However, Milky had only expressed friendship and the platonic intimacy that comes from that. Any emotional attachment was strictly platonic, and all mentions of a relationship are simply those of friendship. He did never encourage or communicated Toaster to be anything more than a friendship. The way he portrayed his dynamic with Milky was grossly misrepresented and instead was expressed in a very different light than how it actually was. I would have played today, but I was showering with Milky. Or what? We showered at the same time while on a call and talked in the shower. Okay, that's weird. Well, literally, allegedly, her Milky was like, yeah, no, I love my friendship. And then they're like, she admits she's attached to me. Is kind of upset about the fact she doesn't being vulnerable, but I don't mind it right now. That's a f***ing lie. They often talked about Milky, how much comfort and intimacy she brought him, but how it made him defensive because he wasn't used to it. All right. Between what was said about Milky and Kisa, both people he was romantically interested in, I started to feel weird about it and confronted him. Okay. The code of writing here is him copy and pasting what I've said to him and him responding to it. So I'm going to read this because it nutshells it better. Even here, it's clear that Toaster has intentions when getting close to women. He says there was a possible outcome to her and progressing to a relationship status. I mean, that's a little weird. A lot of the time, Toaster will go back and forth between never expecting anything from women, and a few moments later will admit that he does have expectations. All right. This combined with the fact that he openly admits that he didn't mind Milky being attached to him and not reciprocating was a huge red flag to me. Okay. Felt like he was using Milky. All right. All from limited knowledge is I didn't ask Milky about it from this time. To deserve business, I didn't want to feel like Toaster was talking about her behind her back or as judging her for being with Toaster. However, the reality of the situation is vastly different from how Toaster depicts to me, which you can read in Milky's account. I will take a look at that a little bit later, which is down here. So despite Toaster noting that Kisa, according to him, a problem saying no to people, he continued to pressure her to hang out with him. Yeah, so I'm definitely getting that Toaster really just like uncomfortably pushes people into situations that they really don't want to be in, right? So listen. Stuff like this isn't okay, right? But compared to like we were talking about Jawaffle the other day, you know, this is obviously not a good thing, but it's creepy. But I haven't seen something as far as like damning in the sense of like harassment or, you know, I don't know, like PDFs. You know what I mean? Like I haven't seen something of that level, but this make it worse. Sisters started talking to me more. Oh, this is Kisa. Finding out about the relationship I left. And I thought it was a little weird, but I just gave me the benefit of the doubt. Oh, see, I don't like that. I don't like when people start talking to you directly after you separate in a relationship. I think it's really shit because you know their intention. We all know their intention when they do that. After talking for a bit about what I'd gone through, he also shared his experiences with similar past relationship issues. So I just thought he would understand how I was feeling, all right? I trusted that he was just being a good friend because he would listen to me venting and offer reassurance about things I was worried about from what I was used to in my ex. Yeah, nothing is gaming yet, but certainly pushed boundaries. Toaster had quickly started to want to hang out by playing a game together or just voice chat, and that made me uncomfortable, given what I wasn't used to, and that he started only chatting with me more after I got on my past relationship. Makes sense. I felt like it would be mean to just say that I'm not comfortable with it. So it would just make an excuse whether he would ask until I felt overwhelmed by how often he would keep asking that I just want to play, and I didn't want to feel guilty about it. I would tell him that I was busy a lot, but that never stopped him from asking. Then one day he just got fed up with me not playing with him, and he sent me that long message about how he's trusting to reach out to him, and he's using the little amount of energy he has left to keep up with me and chat plans, things to do. And that long message just really didn't sit right with me, of course. Because they're not reciprocating the interest back, now they're kind of emotionally manipulating. I'm going to explain to him how what he said was not okay and how it made me feel when she apologized. But it didn't feel genuine and like he was only saying it because he didn't want me to stop talking to him. All right, very fair. So let's go find that. He said, tell me more fun facts about you. The dress is pretty, though depending on if it's only window of time. You think you have? I can cut it shorter so you don't have time now. I just finished exercising and taking photos. What if I want to? I feel bad because if I couldn't make time somehow, you cancel for me. I'm catching up listening to your ASMR stream. Okay, just it's just very like, what's the word? Like a love bombing. I think a love bombing is the right word. Sometimes I ended early anyway, just because I could use extra time off. Do you want to play Valorant with me? If not, it's okay. Relax too. Yeah, let me hear back from Sin. She wants to play Apex. I unfortunately don't have Apex on my little bro's PC. Okay, that's fair enough. Logging into Valorant then. I turned my mutual friends to see what I can invite for collabs later. It's just CC. I guess I'll play for that sometime in the future. Oh yeah, I don't have too many Twitter peeps on Discord. Would you like to game in a bit? I'm sorry, I'm probably just gonna relax before stream because I get super nervous. Yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. Yeah, so definitely just kind of like pushing off just like, yeah, you know, I really don't want to play. Looks like they maybe played at one point, but after that, maybe something happened that was uncomfortable. So Kisa was like, nah, I'm good. Are you gaming capable at night? I'll play with friends. What are you doing tomorrow afternoon? Yeah, oh man. Take the hit! Take the hit! Man, I'll be honest. If I was Kisa though, I would stop responding. I would literally have stopped responding. You know what I mean? Like, this is a little pushy for sure. When's your next availability? I'm not sure. Kisa tried to stop him from initiating hangouts, and then I told him she'd be the one to approach him. That's really good. I feel like it'd be best to just approach you and be able to play. Yeah, will you do that? I feel like that's when somebody does that, like read the room, right? Just be like, you know what? This person's not comfortable with me. I pushed it too far. I'm gonna back off. Like, read the room, you know? Oh, puts this big message here. So let's read this. Okay, I'm letting you know I'm putting a lot of trust in you for that. Not to make it more stressful, but as I wrote about it on Twitter yesterday, I'm dealing with an increasingly small ratio of people I know to people who actually reach out to me and ask me to do things and connect, which means I just have limited energy remaining to do all the work of scheduling, organizing, and just keeping up with everybody because frankly, not many people message me on any given day. Okay, and you can't blame your lack of friendship and messaging with other people and try to turn it around on them. No, that ain't it. Which also isn't big because you're one of the people I'm spending the energy for right now. To keep up with you in chat and find time to things to do. Frankly, if you just want to come to me, the moment you have time, that'd actually be better for both of us. I'm just surprising to me because no one really does that for me. So I got some breaking news. In the VTubing community, everyone is busy. And hardly nobody reaches out. If you want to do something, you have to reach out yourself. But listen, Toaster, if they say no, accept their no. Go hang out with other people. Yeah, if you're getting ignored and they don't want to put in the effort, that should be a sign. You have to put in the effort. Everybody's busy, and if they say no, that's okay. It happens. Psychoanalyzing others without their consent. What? This isn't finished for judging others. He explains that it's ways observing, but the assumption he makes about these observations can be harmful to others. Okay, let's see what happened. She's not a very inquisitive person. I'll bring to OBS and she asked her questions every time I checked to make sure she understood. Because she was like, okay. She was like, no, I don't understand. I mean, just being a little judgy. Let's be real though. Let's be real, chat. Everybody's judgy. Not a good friend of mine will understand Toaster didn't mean this with ill intent. It still just rubbed me the wrong way. Okay, so let's say acknowledge that. I've seen Keith and other women have problems saying no to people, and it is lashing out during the Twitch ambassador situation. Again, he's talking about a woman in a relationship with a friend of mine, and it's upset she didn't tell him she was going to Offkai, and finds it a problem that her boyfriend is insecure about him. And all this adds up to people pleasing. Okay, let's read this. He's at Offkai, but she didn't tell me she was going. Nobody is required to tell you what they're doing at all times. She didn't really tell anybody except a couple friends, and she also wasn't invited by anybody. Who cares? There's a lot of reasons why. I know she just doesn't really want to admit that she doesn't want her partner to feel insecure. He's already said he's felt insecure about me, and said in the past she's compromising and keeping things to herself for his sake. And it just makes me so sad, but I'm not gonna really, be that person that can call it out. Sweetheart, that's between them. Let them do their thing. Leave them alone. Don't just stay out of it. Stay out of it. Let people do their own thing. When I was with the Toaster, when the first thing he talked about was his neurodivergency and autism, I want to point out it was so incredibly new to the Vtuber scene at this point, and I was familiar with autism through my younger sister. My father also suspected he was on the spectrum. Being new to the scene and not fully understanding how society viewed people with autism, I was pretty excited to talk to somebody who seemed to know a lot about it. As we talked more, he started to file things I said or did into his folder, tendencies, and later he had introduced me to online tests. I was great for him to introducing me to a side I hadn't acknowledged or explored, but it's also naive to believe that this was entirely normal. As so talks about neurodivergency, I'm going to kind of skip over this part. Again, this is kind of more interpersonal. Some people may be okay with this, some other people may not be okay with it. Again, it just kind of adds more context of pushing the line a little bit, right? They feel like they deserve something from somebody when that's never the case. But good news for you, almost all the other VTubers are autistic too. What? Okay, that's a little weird. Yeah, and I think they're just trying to talk about how somebody may be neurodivergent and kind of trying to support that. This last screenshot is incredibly problematic. A Toaster says somebody's head is empty and forces his own thought on what that person should do about a chatter. Gets his mod team involved in a question whether this person is loving towards them, but is to others. He also talks about how this person is autistic to somebody else, even when a person questions not diagnosed. See, that's what I'm saying. Definitely trying to interject some kind of agenda into stuff here. Yeah, says her head is empty. Some random video constantly harassing her in chat, and she just kind of let him exist to respond to him nicely, even though he's killing the vibes. It took my mod team telling her it was making chatter come up. That's not your job! Do not police other people's channels. It is not your job. This is horribly interjecting into other people's lives. But again, chat, this is all interpersonal. I don't feel, as of reading this right now, that Evil Toaster is cancelable. Yeah, now we're only on page 22, so this could get worse. So anonymous experience, all right? Either want to stay anonymous. Evil Toaster collab with this person a handful of times. I always want to hang out with them alone. They're uncomfortable about this because Toaster is already pushing boundaries, all right? Can you please tell me why it's so difficult? Has there been an issue to get into a collab, for you to show up to a collab or anything in general? And those are not easy things for most people. I just want to talk to you and call and hang out and do literally anything with no expectations so we can be closer friends. I've been trying for months and feels like you're unresponsible to the prospect. What is the barrier? Well, they don't want to hang out. Just respect their boundaries, bro. Talk about the issues has never been easy for me at all. We don't even have to talk about it. First, I just want to spend time with you. Over time, it'll become easier. Bro, what is this? What is this? And then literally replies to himself, thoughts? Wait, bro, leave him alone. Okay, you're just gonna just straight up tell me what you want from me because I don't get it. I don't know why you're in depression. I want something from you. I think I made it clear. Saying I'm struggling with opening up and talking about a deeper issue. Continue to press on a matter definitely doesn't help. Just leave him alone. This was very recent too, chat. This was on August 2nd of 2024. Still kind of pushing the issue here. I don't want to push you to a point where it's uncomfortable. I'm not dealing with depression. You want something from me? That's not what I meant. I'm saying we respond to your message. There's a lot to process and just haven't had the mental bandwidth whatsoever. So I want to take a moment to point out that Toaster said, not to say I'm hot and then says he is offering something almost nobody else in her life as he assumes, which is incredibly disrespectful. Absolutely. Toaster spams a person multiple days in a row, as we saw. Beyond that, they bring up that this person being a people pleaser, which is weird, but he understands this, but continues to pressure them and make it incredibly stressful. Yeah, I would say that this is not respecting people's boundaries. At this point, chat, I can 100% agree that Evil Toaster definitely need to be called out for all of these actions together. Stuff like this, especially where you're not letting people have a moment, which we've seen from the past screenshots, really just shows that this person is just really pushing boundaries, and it's very unhealthy, and it's dangerous to the victims as well. I would love to hug and cuddle you at conventions, though. Didn't you plan on going to Twitch? Yeah. Don't say that to me. Again! Would you love to cuddle and tell you how pretty you are to watch it? Bro, no. Yeah, this is getting really weird. So here's Milky's experience. This started as friends with a strange dynamic. I had just become a streamer and Apex was one of my very first video games. I had no idea how to play any games, and he offered to teach me. Okay, I thought he was a wonderful content creator who valued his community, tried his best to spread awareness and inclusivity, and just happened to have a rough go of things due to his particular way of communicating and his poor interpersonal skills. Even though he's quirky, I thought he had pure intentions. I was trying to become close friends and build bonds of friendships and camaraderie. Okay, which I found out was not the case. In the beginning, Frog told me it was an unusual existence to him. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a great read on you. I'm gonna go on a limit to your person who appreciate honesty and being upfront, especially since you've kind of prompted me to talk about things in our first actual conversation. Knowing full well there's a can of words on the answer to how are you question. I'm taking it to somebody very interested in people and value connection. It sounds like those like chat GPT girlfriends, like this line. It seems like they are not the best at reading the room. I don't want to dive into like what might be the reason for that, but you know, it seems like they have a hard time understanding people's interpersonal connection and relationship with somebody as well as their intention, which might play into, remember they did say that they were autistic and neurodivergent. I don't want to make excuses for anything for them, but I think we're maybe seeing a bit of a pattern. However, it really is unable to treat me like you treat others. I recognize the way you treated me wasn't what I would deserve. I had no intention of changing his behavior. What? I'll be here for you, whatever you do and how things play out. I care about you, know things get better. I appreciate that. I don't think you deserve better than even mean. What does that even mean? Like, I think I'm a pretty pog friend, but I think you deserve even better. Well, poor manipulation. You'd be dealing with various things and the platonic affection, comfort, and kindness I showed him was desired and appreciated. However, regardless of the choice I brought him, he would still treat me worse than a standard person. Okay, so it just dumping the book of trauma. I'm an open book, and you know, just kind of talking about they were on a call, gave me so much comforting, got sentiment, took the time of their busy Hollywood schedule reading me. I get more manipulation, so right, it's definitely not an excuse, and I would never say that. I had a mod who acted like this. I only booted them because they wouldn't take responsibility for their bad behavior. You're precious, and I appreciate you. I know less a lot. I'm really happy to know that you understand your emotions, how to process them, while you're understanding and tuning how you feel are different. I'm proud of you for recognizing your thoughts and behaviors. As I said, I like you. You're a friend of mine, and you've been nothing but lovely to me. Of course, I want nothing but the best for you. I'll read to you anytime, or just chat about whatever. Okay, times are hard, but you don't have to go through this alone. Allow me to help support you and become your friend. So that's really nice of Milky. Milky's being a good friend. I mean, obviously, you know, ENVtuber has issues, but let's step back and take a little break before we continue her chat, because we're about halfway through the document. So right now, the worst thing that I have seen in this document is ENVtuber basically telling people that they have some kind of like neurodivergency and like inserting some kind of like a thought process or agenda about it, and almost like misdiagnosing them with a judgment, which I think is really horrible. That's not for you to make that judgment call. That's not for you to even speculate on. You know, I think it's really horrible. That's definitely pretty damning to me. Why would you speculate about something like that, especially when it's not your business? You know, what if this person knows and is not comfortable sharing that information? I have a problem with that. I really have a problem with that. I would say if there was something cancelable, I would say it was probably the thing talking about inserting about the autism part. Can we go read that part again, chat? Because I do feel like this is probably the worst right here. So let's read this again. I don't know. I think my problem is I don't know how much of it is she doesn't want others to think we're a thing. Also knowing me, there's a good likelihood she's even thinking about it because her head is empty. Meanwhile, my neurons are firing constantly. I constantly tell her a reminder to let me know if there's any kind of discomfort coming from me, and she says I'm 100% fine. But from watching her past experiences with other people, I just am not sure but hold herself to that. So rate of you are constantly harassing your chat. See again, this isn't your mod team should not be stepping in to do anything. I don't even know for sure how Nia sees me. Insecurity. For everyone else, Nia's just super cheerful and happy and supportive, and shows love and kisses to everybody. And then I'm around and she's just like not even remotely like that. Clearly they view you in a different light. You can't change that, other than by being a good person, right? But I'm also sure she's just unaware, and that's what I'm trying to do. And cannot pick up on the fact that I'm like trying to talk to people about something important like that. Because she's literally the most autistic person I've met, my God. Like, I feel like I've only get through if I just forced to pay attention to her. Or I also been to speak directly or while speaking very, very literally. See, that's just not okay to say. You shouldn't talk about people that way. It's very judgmental. This is by far the most damning thing so far. So Milky, I am being naive. I just want to support my friend. I know the struggles of trying to form genuine connections. Especially in the VTuber space, it's very difficult. How are you? I missed you. To be honest, feel a little shaky about it, so I want to ease my mind. I must feel like I haven't really tired of hanging out. I at least don't ever think I said no to playing with you a lot. This happens because of time. But last week you did ask to play and caught me at a fortunate time. I recognize as well that you poured more into friendship and pointed that out to both of you. You're aware. And to make sure you're okay with that, sure. Let's see. Frog has a tendency to invalidate the thoughts and feelings of those expressing a different opinion than his own. I think we've seen that over on Twitter. There's a VTuber showing what she was in, and a mutual friend time we're both on the show, and he felt that people invited to the show were actually his friends, and unfairly balanced his show in his mutual's favor. He expressed that people would never reach out to him and how they talked to him on the show, but not privately. I want you to know there's a lot of people I'm friends with that I never really get to talk to outside of streaming. So like, some of these points are really weird to me. If people want to reach out, they will. Exactly. Milky's all over it. Guys, if people want to reach out, they will reach out. What? That assessment was something. Yeah, just, trying to discriminate. I mean, like, I have problems with that. But why? Let people be people. Because it wasn't related to the person who had an action. I'll just share my thoughts on your sentence. But they'll come to a game show for me, but not talk to me. And you asked me for me to elaborate. That was all. Would you like to say how your day's been? If they want to, they will perception apply to me for you. Bro. The insecurity is killing me. This is like, I do like a high school boyfriend I had. That was the most insecure fucking person. Do you still like me? Are you angry at me? Do you still love me? Come on. He would constantly tell me about difficulties connecting to others. Okay, and I can kind of see from looking at everything why that would be true, while expressing his own distance deemed from a lack of feeling cared for and loved by others. So I definitely wants that. I think that's why Evil Toaster reaches out to people, right? Looking for that fulfillment. You confuse me, bro. You always ask if I've eaten or if you can help me, or say like you're proud of me for anything and offer me things. Yes, I care about you. Why though? Why? I hate that. Or Toaster. I mean, more poor about the people that are the victims. I can't say poor Toaster. Toaster's the one being shit to them. Well, second to accept platonic, and I do stress purely platonic friendship, but constantly complain about the lack of love and affection in his life and how lonely he was while making often inappropriate comments. I want you to lay down with me and I can play your pretty hair. Yeah, just, you're pushing it. You're pushing it. Yeah, just, that's not the way to talk to somebody that has clearly drawn the line and said, look, I want something platonic. I don't want anything else. Like, you gotta back off of that. You don't want me to answer if you don't, but it seems like you crave love and affection and intimacy. What do you feel like you're doing or what's different about you to those people that allows them to have it, but keeps you from having it? Literally no clue. Other than constantly expressing a desire for love and intimacy, but also expresses perception of where he would continuously put himself in situations where he would experience negative emotions just to feel the comfort of it. Another example of craving more intimacy and love and how cynical this was for him. You want to watch it together sometime if you're down to rewatch it. Maybe it'd be weird because I literally just started rewatching it with the woman who just closed off from romance a few days ago, and he spiraled, which now I don't know if we'll continue or when if we do. He make mildly suggestive comments about wanting to have more of me. But so you don't get spoiled, I had a date filled with talking with some friends. It went really well and I shared a lot of perspective that made me realize things that helped them stop hating themselves. After that, I was just like, wow, I would be a great partner in a relationship. Guess what? It's not that you're cute. You are, but it's not it. I decided something. Okay, wait a second. Let me read this because I feel like this took a big step. After I made a comment about how I appreciate his friendship, he made a suggestive comment insinuating he'd be open to almost anything with me, which at the time I thought meant was to be taken a purely platonic way. However, through the conversation about me and screenshots regarding me and the rest of the dog, I have learned this was not his intention. I decided I love you. You mean a lot to me platonically. Platonically! Drew the line. That's good. You're so special and cool and I adore you. You're funny, capable, and smart and appreciates me aspects of you. Made me happy to be around and feel extremely comfortable around you. Wonderful person, happy having my life. I love you. So just saying like, friends. And they say, platonically. I would have to reiterate that the affection I showed him was purely platonic and cannot be misconstrued in the slightest way. His affections and attitude towards me was being warm and affectionate and making mildly inappropriate remarks towards me to being cold, analytical, and sometimes even downright mean. While the screenshot is not inherently concerning, this was one of the most traumatic interactions with Frog. He's well versed in tech support and would often help his friends with the routing, etc. I reached out to him to help and he was horribly condescending. We got a voice call and he had me share my screen explaining what was wrong with OBS. I'm not tech savvy and while I struggle to find the words for what was wrong, every time he'd express what it could be, like compression for example, he'd have me Google compress. That's kind of mean. Let's go. Ken forgot the filters in OBS, so I'm having a blast in Apex. Getting compressors. Well, you know what the end goal is, right? To be honest, I'm not sure. Yes, that's the goal, to make quieter voices louder and louder voices quieter. Yeah, but I don't know what the numbers, how to move the numbers to the reach at. Compression, what do you normally do when you're at this point where you figure something out you don't understand it? Okay, see, I'm being a little condescending. So what do you do when you don't know? Come on. This is your friend. Don't be that way. Last, I want to elaborate on something that's come to my attention through the creation of this document. Would never take a romantic or sexual interest in Frog. I'm a very affectionate person on my friends. Terms of endearments are not unusual for me, and the affection I express in the same affection I express to everybody. Messages I've sent using positive terms are the terms I use for everyone. I can never be taken as anything beyond platonic. Okay, I'm glad they clear that up. Yeah, I'm glad everybody's saying what they had to say. Throughout our entire history and every interaction, I've never been nothing but purely platonic and tried to act the most sincere way towards them. All I wanted for them was a genuine friendship. Our shower call was a regular occurrence between myself and my friends. A large shower, which part of it will always be dry. This is normal for me to be in a call while showering and just being silly with how hard it is to hear one another and laugh about the echo. No camps are on, and there was nothing lewd or sexual on my part. Glad they cleared it up. Yeah, that was a question for me. I'm like, shower call? What's that all about? Obviously, Evil Toaster was like, oh, shower call. It's absolutely appalling to me to see how he misconstrued our dynamic to others, and how he suggested the possibility of more with me. While treating me so cold and horribly, he alluded to such a different dynamic to others, which we saw. In hindsight, it's such a shame it took so much for me to distance myself from him. Allowed him to treat me to wait it for so long as he did. In my last year of VTubing, I've come to respect myself far more. I would never let this happen. Through this document, share my experiences. Hope that others won't be put through the experience I was. Hope they can love themselves enough to know their worth and not be treated this way while trying to build such a one-sided friendship. While being sexualized, used for inflated egos, and demeaned. Wow. I feel like this is Milky's experience made this whole thing for Toaster so much worse. This is pretty bad. Again, I mean, now we have the clarification about the shower thing, which I was kind of like, I shelved? Yeah, this is not okay. Let's keep reading. Serena's notes. I don't want to say that Milky tried her absolute hardest to be a good friend to Toaster. I believe she went above and beyond to make him feel cared for. Just trying to be a friend, right? And they misconstrued it and they pushed into a narrative. I see now the big picture. See, you have to ask yourself what he's doing. Searching for it's a platonic intimacy or to be one of the girls, or is it something more than that? I think here was this post that he made. I'm so tired to be the person that gets my friends to stop being so terrified of my other friends just for them to all start to be better friends without me and do nothing to include me. That's life. Sometimes people meet and they become friends, and then they go in a different direction than you do. That happens. Yeah, it's very just emotionally manipulative. Now that we have the full story, and not everybody just wants to talk to you. One time I actually checked, and no joke, less than 5% of my VTubers and my friends list have online enabled. This asked me something more. Crazy thing is, I don't get DM'd, even with my green light putting please DM me my status. Bro, I don't look at that shit. Some people just don't want to collab. Imagine not just wanting to hang out because it's my life and my choice. Imagine. Red Songs know. Hello, my name is Isa, also known as Red Song 1. Most of the active Apex VTuber in the scene. Others I'm the villainous Evil Toaster's abuser. In experience that he continues to share, I share my thoughts and screenshots that did take light from those through severe recounts, but to supplement and validate the consistency of his actions when interacting with others. All right, here we go. Wasn't until he realized I could not be manipulated to his will that he had all the issues with me. Didn't face the brunt of his uncomfortable behavior. I didn't find my experience in VTubing community directly affected by him. TLDR, because I do not drop someone he fell out with. Toaster branded me as somebody who sizes with the see, I hate that. Guys, not everybody's gonna agree with you about everything. So, but for you to go, oh, you're not gonna side with me? Well, if you're not with me, then you must be against me. For a time, I had genuine anxiety about venturing into VTuber space, and on occasion broke down under the weight. I know he spoke about me because I've had several people tell me they initially avoided me because of Toaster. Okay, all right, here we go, chat. So this is where we get into, we've had some very problematic stuff, and now we're adding on to, because you're affecting somebody's well-being and their career by talking shit. Nah, that's not okay. Well, after I broken ties with him, I'd like to reiterate that had nothing to do with this event. The only thing I did wrong was that what I didn't do when he asked me at the drop of a hat. To conclude, Toaster hasn't been the most truthful, whether out of ignorance or malice, especially if it's for his own gains. They believe their thoughts and words stand true. Anything that is aligned with their thoughts is stupid or false and isn't worth their time. Listen to those affected and what they have to say. Believe their feelings of anxiety and pressure to be true. I support not only those who spoke about Toaster, but those that still fear what they could say should they speak out against him. I'm conflicted about what to do tomorrow. Why, what's up? You're playing with blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, bro. Why does that conflict about what I'm about to do tomorrow? Because I don't know if I'll be able to get that off my mind. Then don't play with them. Are we really going to do this high school shit where it's like, I wanted to play with you, Big Lord, but, I really don't like Toomsy because he's a smelly pirate. Come on. Are we not fucking adults? This bugs me hard. The way you make it sound like you should be able to play or not tomorrow. I don't know if I'd be comfortable with it. I explained what went down with blah, 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 and I'm right, in full detail. Kind of, sort of, I know you mentioned, emotional manipulation, but I don't really know all the details. Just you and Blank have cut ties and all. Blank really strong-headed, abusive, emotionally and verbally towards... Oh my God. All right. So on top of this chat, we have emotional manipulation. We have lying about stuff. We have, I'm going to say false accusations. I don't think that's a stretch. Like, I understand if somebody like messes with you and does something bad. And if you want to like share your story, but don't try to like emotionally manipulate people and manipulate a story to get you to side with them every time, because there's always two sides to the story. If you hear something and you don't like somebody, then you know what? Go get both sides to make your own decision. But I don't need you telling me that I should be on the other side of that, right? That's for me to do, not you. When we told me to cut ties with blank, I didn't realize you're asking me to do the same. I'm kind of processing what to do, but like, don't take that as me taking sides, because to be honest, I don't know if it's really something to take sides on. You're gonna have to talk about this eventually. That is so manipulative. That's really wrong. After streaming of words for me to listen, assuming we'll still play night. I need more time to collect my thoughts, so another time. If I stream, I'll take some other plans, but I can't make this collab. Okay, bye. There's no reason to be that way, guys. Like, you don't need to force people into making a decision. Now this is where it got really, really bad. Now we're seeing the true manipulation in all of its sides, chat. Then I go on to describe the situation. Also, I feel like it's implied, but in case it isn't, I'm not putting blame on you for me having any of this pre-existing conditions involving self-perception and the fact that you, likely unknowingly, unless it was clear, were playing such an important role in that. I didn't tell you you were important in this regard, but I likely do not convey the depth of it. Like it did not, presumably, so all of that isn't me trying to tell you, well, you should have done something different because I was some way you couldn't have understood at the time. Since you took the time to reiterate your feelings and thought processes going in all this, let me go ahead and review mine. Basically, confirm, deny what you stated. Do not remember you going in depth about blank, abusing you, like I mentioned in our previous conversation. I looked up in our chat log and rewriting what you told me. So here's what unsettles me about all this. I was never involved with what went down between you and blank. I'm completely removed from it. So basically what I'm seeing here is, like, I wasn't part of this, but I'm not really gonna like immediately just side with you because I was a part of this. You think it's an issue of you being devalued or disrespected, but I think it's the other way around. And that you're letting your hurt not just speak for you, but for everybody else. Very, very true. Very mature thing to say. But you can't just push your feelings and personal experiences onto others. Boom. Absolutely. I just want to say it's wild as hell that you're saying I'm valuing said abusers' comfort over your own comfort and not caring about you enough, etc. I didn't care and give as much shit about you as I do. Do you think that if it said what I did to protect our space? Kai says exactly on it. Like, look, guys, I understand sometimes people go through bad stuff, but if they were removed from the situation and they don't want to get involved, or they want to say, hey, you know, I'm on this side of the fence, you need to respect that. You need to respect that people have a different point of view sometimes. And for you to push your agenda for you to push your manipulation, no, that ain't it. So it looks like they kind of kept trying to message them and just got nothing from it. I think I said something kind of important here. I had to highlight those for reading. No one who matters the least treats you differently based on your presented male gender. They act differently because you refuse to respect where everyone's personal boundaries lie. That's absolutely important. They act different because you refuse to respect where everyone's personal boundaries lie. You consistently ignore everyone's opinions and viewpoints if they do not match your own, and rather than listen, you prioritize vouching how much yours is right, even if you're in the wrong or just different. Absolutely true. I hope that the document acts as evidence of this until she finally realizes why people find it problematic. It reflects to the point where you can stop disrespecting people and preying on women within their space, yeah. So let's take a stop here, chat. Now that we've read all this, my opinion has obviously changed quite a bit since you were reading earlier on what Evil Toaster needs to do. But looking at this chat, I would say the Toaster needs to, number one, address all of this. Number two, they have horribly disrespected several people. They've really uncomfortably pushed the boundaries of multiple people as well. I think Toaster needs to step away for a while. They definitely need to address this. They can't ignore it. And I hope that this document pushes for a response. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is not Twitch ambassador behavior. So here's a non number two in their experience. Bullet screenshots another instance where Evil Toaster pushed someone's boundaries. A non two was part of a friend group, which included Toaster and a friend. If they came into disagreement with each other, were not speaking terms. At this time, Anon didn't feel they needed to take sides. Toaster knew that they were still in contact with each other, knew that the friend would visit Anon 2 stream, and tried to control that aspect. Can you tell her not to come? I tried not to shut her up. You're gonna talk to her again, but you told her not to come, right? I tried to keep it civil, but I guess something happened. What? No, what did you tell her before stream? To keep it civil and give some space, gonna talk to her again about not coming in when you're here. Sorry, Toasty, what? You told me you told her not to come in. This did you not? Yeah, I'm just gonna talk to her. If it's communicated properly, word and bad at the communication part. What'd you say exactly? I called her. Why are you not talking to them? Come on. Literally, why are you having this, like, back and forth, like, speak between somebody? Just tell them. Controlling who comes to their stream, yeah, absolutely. Telling them what they do and how to feel. So then she just completely disrespected you. That's why I'm going to talk to her. I hope you can learn to not be too kind for your own good. If that was unacceptable for her, it's okay. We'll talk to her till she understands. Sorry, having you did your part. I mean, I guess you could have banned her, but bro. If you say clearly to avoid the stream and not chat when I'm in it, and she said, okay, then this is fair. The world does not revolve around you. Yeah, it should have been Sinclair to avoid the stream and not chat when I'm in it. Who are you, fucking John Twitch? Like, shut up. How dare you chat in my presence? How dare ye? Oh my god, it's so like middle school. Come on. She barely clearly did on purpose. She knows why she was asked not to chat. She just doesn't give a shit. I'd be fucking furious if I were you. Oh my god, I'm gonna keep reading. They just need to stop being so like, they need to stop thinking that everything revolves around them and trying to manipulate the situation and trying to tell people what to do and just like, guys, it's not about you. Like, I mean, if you have a disagreement with somebody, then tell them that. But if it's in somebody else's stream, that is not your call. You do not get to tell somebody who gets to be in their stream or not. That would be like, I'd be like, hey, Haley, how are you doing, Haley, baby? You know, you see that Toomsy guy? He's really stinky, so you should ban him. That's not okay for me to do. If you're not participating, it will be timed down in chat for the duration of the stream. That can make it happen. I should state that even that is a compromise. It's not up to you. It's not your compromise to make. Then I don't know if it'd be capable of participating in a way where I'd be able to celebrate properly. Okay, then don't be there. I'm sorry. The stream does not revolve around you. If you don't want to be there, don't be there. Chat, can I tell you a story? Story time? So I got invited to a collab. I said, you know what? Okay, sure. I hop in the Discord and there was somebody that I do not get along with. There was somebody that I have venomously spoken out against, that I have reported on, that this is a person that I have morally, I cannot agree with this person. And so you know what? I left the Discord and I left the collab. I said, hey, I told the organizer, I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. I can't be part of this collab. I have a disagreement with somebody in there and I just can't do it. I hope you have a great event. I don't want to ruin your event by, you know, causing any type of disruption. Have a great event, okay? And, you know, I hope you have a wonderful time. So why is Evil Toaster going, oh, well, if they have a disagreement with me, well, they need to leave. No. That's not the way that works. And that is so unprofessional. And I feel like they're using, like, I don't know if maybe they were a Twitch ambassador at that point, but like, it feels like that power that they had, they feel like they're leveraging that, right? That's not the way to act. I would feel very awkward in a blank got to play with you on stream for your celebration and that had to be put away to play. It's not about you. I want to celebrate with you and everybody else in your community loves you too. Okay, you guys are literally being different time slots if it happens. Are you okay with what she did and how she treated me? Why are you taking to personal issues and making them somebody else's? I mean, you've already mistreated all of these poor women. You've definitely made them feel uncomfortable. You definitely pushed, but now it's just like all this on top is like the cherry on top, man. There's more backstory to non-Two's experience. Evil Toaster almost took 2 years of dances and healing. Honestly, we're surprised to know that if they were the only one to have these types of conversations, but it mostly due to the fact they were terrified of what Evil Toaster's connections would do due to a non-2 being a smaller VTuber. And that's really true, guys. If you're a smaller VTuber and you have a bad experience with a bigger VTuber, it's really hard to speak out. I mean, I'll be honest, chat. It took me 2 years to get that screenshot about Marina because I was scared. I was like, I'm going to get fucking canceled if I show this, right? This is absolutely true. It's absolutely something you have to consider. My evidence is with this kind of behavior. I've been banned from Discord and channels because they thought I supported somebody when they didn't like, right? Yeah, the entitlement is real. There's that exact same behavior that we saw earlier. Another experience where Toaster pushed an autism diagnosis on somebody who wanted nothing to do with them and knows they're not autistic. Unfortunately, this person didn't able to get photo evidence, but they do say, oh yeah, I was a little weirded out by him at some point, even if we could keep this anonymous. Here's my side of the story, and I believe probably many felt the same way. I felt guilt-tripped into playing and hanging out with him. We've seen the evidence of that, just constantly like, you know, berating them, right? Like just on top of them, just spamming, hey, wait, can you hang out? Hey, come and hang out. Hey, wait, hang out. This is not the actions of a Twitch ambassador. Shibi's experience, oh my god, another one. Shibi hosted a collab, and one of the people invited was Evil Toaster. Evil Toaster started a collab by putting off one of the people there as evident below. I know the person, but we met through Blank. What happened? The vibes were a little off, but I wasn't sure if I was misinterpreting it. God, it definitely was. He was basically trying to humiliate me. Why? So I thought I'd tell you what happened so I can avoid him. I stopped talking that last half because I was crying the whole time. Oh, that's horrible. I felt weird because he asked for a fun fact. I said I was allergic to fruit and said that wasn't very funny. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, there's the audio. All right, let's listen, chat. This is a minute 29.
Oh, Kelly, Chris sent me this thing, right? And it said short people are more likely to have like psychotic traits.
Huh?
And he said that was you.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know. He just sent it to me randomly. He's like, this is Kelly.
What?
At first I thought he was referencing
Hello?
himself.
I'm not psychotic.
Why would he say that? And then why would you share that?
Weird channel.
Hello?
He just said you're absolutely a psychopath.
Huh?
I'm not.
Are you
This is
good?
on stream.
New lore just dropped.
No, not
good.
me.
I'm trying to
Kelly
get that.
is.
Nope. No, but like, why are you sharing that?
It's the truth.
Huh?
You guys deserve to know. She's
Very
psychotic.
odd.
No.
Sheffy? Can you don't?
This is
Hello?
weird.
Hello.
What's so funny? Can you stop with that?
Sorry. sorry.
I would say I think it was just like a joke, right? But they came off as like offended. So let's read. It's very awkward. Chippy makes a joke about short people being psychotic, specifically towards somebody saying or news broadcast, with a study saying so directed towards Kelly, her friend. This is a joke that's common between the two, but also common for both of their communities. Okay, even Kelly's mod Geoff comments on Kelly's height and says she's psychotic. It's good that Chevy meant no disrespect by saying this joke, and no disrespect was taken except by Toaster. Whether or not the joke was not Toaster's cup of tea, it's the fact he continues to press Chevy after the joke's already passed. Yeah, it's a little weird. This is live with multiple people streaming. The person this joke is addressed to is laughing. And while Toaster believes Sheffy is the one laughing, it's actually Kelly. The person the joke involves thinks it's funny and nobody else seemed to have a problem with it. And even Toaster felt the need to play Sheffy's humor. He could have done so in a collab in private. They humiliated her in front of numerous people. Yeah. The other thing to do is say Sheffy stopped joking about almost immediately when she realizes Toaster's upset. At first she was confused because Toaster was actually telling her to stop. He says, why are you sharing that? So Sheffy thinks he's generally joking and asking around. She says, because it's true. After this, it's clear Toaster's upset. Person laughing is Kelly, but Toaster continues to press Sheffy even though it's been a minute since the joke has been made. His jokes are abandonment of Vtuber community, which Toaster had commented on to me before. They easily seem to attack other people, seeing like the rampant ableism of Vtuber humor. Things like making a joke about PTSD, OCD, etc. As people make schizo jokes or jokes about hearing voices, triggered humor. Very, very common to see and kind of just observe this degenerate humor. I don't understand why you'd be upset, but let's say they took the joke the wrong way. Like, let's say in the best case scenario, they took the joke the wrong way, right? Why do you gotta be like be so offended about it? Like, why not just reach out to them and be like, hey, Aaron DMs, like, not live. Like, not in a chat that's live, like over on Discord. Just like, hey, what did you mean by that joke? And then you'll be like, oh, like, you know, it's a joke between my friends. Oh, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, after stream or just like, take the time to like ask the question, what did that mean? Oh my God, are you serious? Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't try to make you feel weird or anything. I just know you didn't like the mental health related jokes. Give me a moment to understand that. No one likes mental health related jokes. I added you in chat earlier, but they were just saying short people were psychotic. That wasn't even like a joke where it's like you're making fun of somebody's like mental illness. You're just saying that short people are crazy, are psychotic. Well, why are you gonna virtue signal there? So I didn't fully understand it. First, my bad. I'm just used to different humor that is. Sorry, you should really be concerned about this, bro. Okay, no, absolutely not. I draw so many lines and flags. I'm putting them in the fucking ground. They think that they're the fucking main character. They're like, oh, well, if you don't have the humor that aligns with mine, you should really be concerned about others. We learned recently that it is not okay to joke about certain things. You need to have the ability to decipher between what is okay and what is not okay. So Shivi immediately apologized to Toaster, who did not accept the apology. It took the opportunity to question her friend group as well. There's a lot about Shivi to apologize to somebody who's upset about a joke. Exactly. That's such a nice step of them to even do that. Tony brings it up in her friend group when they share mutual friends. But those friends are in a higher position of power due to their larger following. I guess that's why Toaster never said anything about them making similar, the same jokes as Chevy did. Yeah, it's past my bedtime. Then we start even later. Okay, it's all right. Right, T? No, what's up? I can't hold back my tears. I feel so awful. Because something Toaster said, yeah, I want to leave, but I'm a host. I'm trying to fish already. This had affected Chevy where in the moment she wanted to leave her own collab and was crying while streaming. But even more than that, she suffered from self-doubt and was nervous to reach any man Vtuber scene after dealing with this so publicly. Exactly, like, you didn't need to call Chevy out while live like that. You can converse in DMs like you did, but making it like a public thing is just, that's really bad, like, collaboration, which is funny, chat. I'm gonna lay you down something. Are you ready? For a person that values collaboration so much, they are a horrible collaborator. Really funny how that fucking works, huh? No wonder nobody wants to collaborate with you. No wonder so many people are fucking complaining about not reaching out to you. No wonder nobody wants to actually reach out to you while you're live and you're like, oh, please reach out to me because I have no friends. No wonder, because you treat people like this, because you virtue signal when there's nothing to virtue signal over you. People like shit while they're live. No wonder nobody wants to hang out with you. Look at all this evidence of all these people getting their boundaries pushed. Why would they even want to show up to your streams, let alone have an actual fucking collaboration with you? Why do you expect for something like that to happen when you have a history of this in multiple communities? Okay, sorry, I'll breathe now. Conclusion. I'm very sorry this document was necessary. You shouldn't be sorry. I've held on to so much Toaster has personally done to me. That's not even included in the document because regardless how Toaster's hurt me on a personal level, it's much more important to disclose everything and how he continues to disrespect women's boundaries within the space, controls people and uses his status so the community continues to get away with this. Like, I'm gonna be real, when I first read this, I did not realize the level that he disrespected boundaries. Like, remember at the beginning where we were like, oh, maybe this isn't cancelable? Yeah, I'm gonna step back on that, chat, looking at everything. And so how he disrespects women's boundaries in the space, control people, and uses his status so the community continues to get away with things. I hold on this for about 2 years out, but I realized that if Toaster can ignore public outrage, he will ignore private outrage. That is a fucking... I want to get this, like, on a plaque. If they ignore public outrage, they'll always ignore private outrage. Can we get that, like, plastered somewhere, chat? Yeah, he did get a lot of chances. The hope for this document is that you're reading it who have negative experience with toasters that might be too scared. Finally know at least somebody that have been the victims, and there are people speaking out about them. It's to reassure these people that know you aren't overthinking this. He doesn't pay personal boundaries. He is controlling. He's manipulative. He's creepy towards people, especially those who do not have a platform similar to his own. Above all, his behavior is incredibly recent and it is documented up until last month. Yeah. Hope toaster can understand that when multiple friends part ways with you. When groups of people avoid you, it's because you are the problem. You are the problem. No one is out to get because XYZ, and so on. You may talk about people and warn others away from them, but no boogeyman is keeping you from talking to you, collabing with you, or anything of the sort. It is not because you are perceived as a man, but because you disrespect people's boundaries time and time again, and so that's their only option, and that is to distance. I don't believe Toaster will apologize. I don't even know if this document will provoke him, them, or any repercussions, but I do know that I and many others have spoken the truth and tried our best to get him to realize his mistakes and fix his behavior. Going forward, or at least console the people who have been doubting themselves with these experiences. I think everybody who's come forward and helped me create this document, and I think people who cannot speak out and concern for their safety, but told me personally their stories and helped me get a bigger picture of what's going on behind the scenes these past 3 years. And Chad, that's not even the end of it. There's even more here from Kimmy, but I think if not even of it canceled, it'd be good to inform others and have the information out there. The people know this kind of behavior is not abnormal from them and needs to be taken seriously. Absolutely. I don't know if it got worse, but there's more information. If I were Twitch ambassador and I do anything like this in my business, I want to do a little something here. I want to know what like a Twitch ambassador stands for, right? Like what a Twitch ambassador is supposed to be. Twitch ambassadors positively contribute to the Twitch community from being role models for their community to establishing new content genres to having inspirational stories that empower others around them. These creators embody what it means to bleed purple. Yeah. That's not you. Yeah, so like, I do want to read this other account and then we'll talk about the repercussions, right? But this is what Twitch ambassadors positively contribute to the Twitch community. Nah. You ain't doing it. Establishing new content genres to having inspirational stories that empowers those around them. Nope. Yeah, Takahata is like the Twitch ambassador for VTubers. I doubt Twitch even knows. Yeah, that immediately disqualifies you. Yeah, positively contributes. So let's go see what Kimmy had to say, because Kimmy did have a little bit to share about this. I did put out my experience with Toaster before, but I've been badmouthed for siding with an abuser simply because I did not choose sides and two people I knew were going through a dispute. I was guilt-tripped and given ultimatums. I asked for proof as I was being made to choose between friends, but that made me apparently side more with an abuser. I was told about numerous times to get tested for autism as again? I lost a lot of mutuals and connections and was pretty much outcasted after trying to talk about it. And this is horrible, Chad, because this directly affected their career. All I wanted was friendship, but somehow I got dragged into something that had nothing to do with simply because I knew the other person. I don't get how you can be neutral on this. Okay, let me put it more blatant terms. Let's say I had two friends. One day, one of these friends decided that anytime they saw me, they would beat me up until I bled. I decided I would like to keep living, so I cut them out entirely. I told my other friend what happened. They said sorry and hung out with them the same day, laughing and being happy. I reminded this person beat me up, and then they say sorry that happened, but they're still going to be around. Do you think that person is your friend? Do you think that person respects you? Or to shift your perspective of you or the person in the middle? You had a friend who was beating you up and one of your other friends. What would you do with those two people? This is like being like, okay, so if I was racing with a rocket ship and you had a Hot Wheels, who would be able to outrun the train? What? This comparison makes no sense. If I was a woman and I said I was abused by a man, would you have taken that more No, you did not. You did not just say that. If I was a woman and I said I was abused by a man, would you have taken that more seriously? This wasn't even in the document. You know, I asked that question, I don't even think what answer would be worse. Don't go there with me. I've never even given any indication I'm like that. I've even told you that's not how I think of multiplication. It's an impossible standard at the end of the day, just a matter of how close we are to it. What? That sentence made me really angry. Don't say that to anyone because it would not be taken lightly. What sentence? Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I just tried to figure out why I had to explain it the way I did for you to understand the situation. You just don't say that just regardless. That's one of the things you never ever say. Exactly. You do not fucking say that. Your new model's really cool. Congrats on your debut. Did you have fun? I can't do with the answer you gave me about the... You're still... it's just how we deal with things here, and that's my opinion. I have a feeling something's up. Why do we even have to say exactly what you said above? We can be adults and talk about stuff. I'm not looking to start an argument or anything. What I'm supposed to do as an adult, if my friends are willing to value whatever somebody who abused me does for them over the entirety of myself. What is the situation? All I said it was her choice, what she decided to do. That's all it was. And you express your concerns to her, and she's doing whatever she does. That's up to you what you want to do. That's all. You gave me the case. What happened is between you and the abuser, and the friend in question is somebody. But what? Okay, but if that's true, if this person is an abuser, where is the proof? I want to know more about that. I don't know what I said that was that bad. You said I can't fault somebody for making that choice. Yeah, because you can't force her to choose. Would you want to force her? Yeah, obviously, I can't force somebody to do anything, but I can fault her for it. Fair enough. I never said you can be upset about it. My example with the ex also said how I didn't like it. Then why do you let your friends stay friends with them if they did the awful things you said they did to you? Assume we're talking about the same person. I got my memory right. Because I can't force them. I don't want to make them choose. That's just my choice. Which is very adult, which is very mature. You can tell them what happened, but you can't force them. Yeah, no, that's okay. Age. I will dig. I'll find out the truth. The truth always comes out on this channel. You don't want to make your friends choose between you and your abuser. I'm not giving my friends an ultimatum to know that's how I do things. Makes no sense to me. Here's the thing that you have to understand. If somebody did something wrong, you can tell them what they did wrong, but you can't force them to side with you. It sucks. But it's a truth. It's the absolute truth of the situation. You can't make somebody choose something because of something that they did. And again, I want to see the proof of this abusement situation. If this is absolutely true, okay. But even still, like, the reason that I want to know is because I feel like this is not really a sound argument. It doesn't change much, but I don't think this is a sound argument. I really do want to know more, though. Like, why is this person bad? Prove to me this person is bad. You can't tell me a person is bad and me just believe it. I mean, Twitter will, but, you know, for me, I want a little bit more information. I have 3 brain cells, so I want to know more. Okay, I'm not forcing them to choose a specific option. I'm telling them to prioritize me over my abuser, or otherwise they have to show that in act they are not my friend. You're making people choose. Well, it makes sense to me. I even ask a friend to do that is just have no self-respect. If I thought it was actually as worthless as I made myself to be by how I was treated and thought I deserved that, then sure, it's not up to my friends to prioritize me because I deserved it, but I didn't deserve that. So why would anyone respect me, want to be welcoming to someone who abused me, and they're willing to put their own comfort over mine by avoiding the confrontation or just valuing whatever they do for me over my safety and mental stability? They are my friend. That's not friend behavior. Like, if you're forcing me to choose it, I'm going to choose the other person just because you're forcing me. You know, like, so guys, let's go take a look at this new document that just came out. Coming from Audio SU, I've been asked to produce a document about Evil Toaster. This is for those who have found the courage after reading Serena's document and wish to speak up anonymously about their own traumatic experiences. So here is the document, chat. It is about 10 pages, so we're going to dive into it. Take a look at what is going on with the situation. So the anonymous victims of Evil Toaster's abuse. Here we go. This document is a way for the victims of Evil Toaster to speak out against the wrongs he's done while still remaining anonymous. I've been giving those screenshots amongst many others as a trusted confidant to keep them anonymous. I want to make it clear this document is to help people also identify how harmful it can be to peer review and diagnose people when you aren't trained or taking the proper path, while also highlighting Evil Toaster's situation. Yep, this is a Twitch ambassador, Chunky. I know on Friday we all agreed they need to be stripped of it, for sure. However, there is no wrong answer currently in self-diagnosing and formal diagnosing. There are benefits and cons to each, but that is different from what is going on here. I've received permission from everyone in the document to share these stories and screenshots. For those who don't know me, I keep my head down. I don't engage in most drama. I stay in my lane. I spent over 7 years when I can working with Crisis Connection, 988, Unaliving, and SPSA. So the following stories and screenshots I was given I find very concerning, even if their relation is indirect. I do not condone manipulation. I do not approve unprofessionally diagnosing your friends, and I do not condone forcing your views and beliefs onto others. Exactly. They do not have a medical degree, while online autism tests have some accuracy and are a wonderful way to identify traits and get you on the right path to being diagnosed. They are not a 100% accurate source of diagnosis. I respect the autism community and their support of self-diagnosis, and this is no way a hit piece against the community, merely identifying one person who is viewed as dangerous and has shoved his agenda onto dozens. And you're going to see plenty more proof of that, which we saw Friday, but, you know, we'll go through that again. We'll use whatever information you find online safely. Please seek medical professionals if you're able to. Always look out for yourself and find comfort in your fellow community members. Pushing boundaries and pressing autism on others. So this was like, when we looked at this in the original document, it's made me feel very uncomfortable. I don't think that you should be, again, the one that is trying to call out that you feel like this person is on the spectrum, autistic. Like, I feel like that's wrong. It's such a hard way, but to push the boundaries of it and just continue to tell your friends, oh my God, yeah, this person is totally like autistic. Look at what they do. That's absolutely just wrong. Successful people are usually able to push boundaries. It's really just like then it's horrible. I think North, like, there's pushing boundaries in like an unprofessional way, and there's pushing boundaries in like a professional way. What I mean by that is like in a professional like business environment where it's like, I'm uncomfortable doing this thing. Like, I'm uncomfortable trying this job role for the first time. And it's like, no, like, I'm going to support you so you can do that job role. I know you can do it. I believe in you. You got this. That's very different from like this, right? Definitely very unprofessional. Evil Toaster has a long history of diagnosing and encouraging his friends to take autism tests. So going as far as referring to some of his own personal case study, even though they're never shown any history or medical background to be qualified, there's nothing inherently wrong with looking out for your friends and trying to support good mental health, absolutely. However, the frequency that evil toaster is shown to do this with dozens of his friends is a red flag. So again, chat, it's not so much about like promoting the good mental health, it's just the frequency that we've seen this person do it. It's very, very concerning. I'm unable to sleep properly. Yeah, by the way, I thought of more things. In regards to what, if I may ask, to the stuff we talked about. Also, hi, I just got back to my desk. So what's in your mind? You are becoming a case study for me on these types of topics. No. That's just very, very uncomfortable. These numbers confuse me. You're more autistic than me, Pug. Dude, that's an online test. I mean, yes, this can be like a solid way to like, get some information, but I don't think like an online test is the most reliable source. The test. I've been told by 10 individuals that at some point in their interactions with Evil Toaster, he's either unwarranted and unprompted, shoved an autism test onto them. Bro, what? So even like actual like psychologists are like, this isn't something you should use. But forcing a test on somebody. Imagine just going in your DMs like, oh my God, yo, what's up guys? How you doing? Hey, take this autism test. Why? Oh, because I think you are. That's not right. That's totally pushing social boundaries. That's totally pushing your friendships. That's not right. Not right in any way, shape, or form. That's very intrusive as well. Something like that is personal to somebody, and they should be the one to talk about it, right? Not anybody else. So we have 10 individuals that, of course, I have told them that they've been unprompted, shoved the test onto by Evil Toaster, or guided a conversation in a way that he suggests they take the test. Online autism tests are not a reliable tool for diagnosing autism spectrum disorder. They may be useful for raising awareness and promoting early screening, but they do not take into account environmental or individual factors that may influence results. For example, cultural differences, linguistic variations, and the specific characteristics of the test population can lead to the bias in the results. Individuals may also unknowingly exhibit biases in their responses. That's a huge thing, right? Your self-bias. So overemphasizing certain traits or underreporting others. Please note that the term not reliable tools should be lightened and viewed in a better regard, as it may not have 100% accuracy. So self-diagnosis is important because it does allow people to receive new information about themselves that may help them mitigate symptoms, other problems in their life, validate their experiences, and ultimately can point them towards professional help. So self-diagnosis is important. Self-diagnosing and tests give an opportunity to put the foot in the door and explore a deeper level. However, self-diagnosis becomes harmful when an individual never receives professional diagnosis because there are many symptoms that overlap within their disorders. Somebody who engages in self-diagnosis may start identifying with a disorder that isn't part of their psyche and therefore treat themselves and others differently because of it. Or they might take an action that does not actually benefit them because it's misdiagnosed. They can lead to an incomplete treatment of mental illness disorder, which in the long term can have serious effects on a person's mental and physical health, lifestyle, and more. So again, guys, you can self-diagnose to kind of get the ball rolling a little bit, but ultimately it's to point you towards a professional diagnosis, right? But, it can help you. It can help you until you're able to seek that help. And I think that, that's great to obviously explore and, look into things. There's nothing wrong with that. So here we go. Hey, really? Well, the test results alone, yes. Well, that kind of explains a lot of my life. I guess we'll see 100% after my talk to my therapist. I wouldn't necessarily trust a neurotypical with diagnosing you, since they fundamentally cannot understand what being autistic is like. But that's just my opinion. What? It really feels like they just don't like doctors. They don't like psychiatrists. They do not want to interact with anybody. They do not want to interact with anybody that is a doctor. Like at all. Let me read this again. I wouldn't necessarily trust a neurotypical with diagnosing you, since they fundamentally cannot understand what being autistic is like, but that's just my opinion. And also the opinion of almost everyone I know in the autistic community. We are big advocates for self-diagnosis. This is like becoming anti-doctor. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with self-diagnosis, but it's to point you towards getting the help you need, getting the professional's help. I am so confused. So you'd say this test is fairly accurate. I mean, do you feel like the scenarios being tested are relatable to your experiences? Here it seems like it by the results. Dude, I'm not gonna trust the online test. I'm sorry. I mean, is it a good way to point you in the right direction? Yes. But I'm not gonna take a test that's online as the gospel. I'm sorry, that's that's not gonna happen. Let's say that a self-test, hypothetically, in a perfect world, was good. It was the best that you could get. You're still gonna have self-bias. So you may not answer all the questions correctly. You know what I mean? So it's not trustworthy inherently. And again, I want to make this clear, guys. I'm not autistic. I'm not on the spectrum. So there is a certain point of empathy that I can never achieve because I will never be able to understand. I can't, it's literally impossible for me to have 100% empathy because I will never be able to understand. And I want to make that clear. But I at least want to mention here that, talking about the correct steps, that's very clear, right? We can look at it and go, hey, guys, look, this is clearly supposed to be the first step into the next step. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. All I can do is look at this and discuss this with you guys. And then on top of that, look at how this person can use to push this weird agenda of autism onto other people. I do want to say that I don't really want to like dig into the intention too much because I think we could guess a bunch of things, right? All we can really do is look at this pattern and go, yeah, that's not okay. Because I think all of us could go, oh, well, Evil Toaster is doing this to manipulate. Well, yeah, we can see that. Oh, Evil Toaster is, I don't know, doing this for X and Y reason, right? Maybe a professional told him that he wasn't. That's all like guessing, right? And I don't want to get too deep into that because, we don't have any proof of that. Now, obviously, if Evil Toaster says something, that's a little bit different. Yeah, the situation is definitely gotten quite a bit worse. But I think that this particular topic, diving into it and people obviously, bringing out more information about this in particular is extremely, even more damning, chat, because what we saw before in this document was really bad. We saw a bit of this, but even more of this now, even more on top of the grave now. So telling people to avoid neurotypical people from helping them diagnose from a false belief that they cannot understand while they state their opinion. I still find this dangerous as somebody so impressionable and trusting when there's no research to prove this. It's a repeated and common occurrence with Evil Toaster. I don't like pointing people away from a professional. You know what I mean? Like, they're professional for a reason. We should trust professionals. If somebody says, hey, you lost, I don't know, something happens to me, like medically, like I'm losing a bunch of weight or something, and it's not healthy. But like, hey, I think you should see a doctor. I wouldn't be like, oh, you're trying to, I don't know, put me in the wrong direction. Like, no, I think that is valid, and we should embrace going to a professional about stuff that professionals are qualified to make calls on. I mean, I don't know, that's just me, but I feel like professionals should make a call that only professionals can make. I'm not going to perform surgery on myself and go, oh, well, you know what? I don't need a surgeon. Yeah, nah, it's fine. It's okay. I'll do it myself. It's a repeated and common occurrence with Evil Toaster. It is hard to know what reserved people think. I had someone I liked a lot before. It's hard to know what she is thinking. I am having my neurodivergent suspicions off of this one paragraph. One paragraph. Are you serious, dude? Neurodivergent suspicions. Me and another autistic friend of mine think Mia may be like us, which honestly would explain so much about her. I want to bring it up to her next time we talk, but we haven't had a next time yet. Just the premise of that is so ridiculous. Evil Toaster is frequently spotted DMing people unrelated to another person's autism or lack thereof. Even when the person we discuss rejects his personal diagnosis, declines his test, or says they aren't comfortable with it. So autistic people are more likely to be gender non-conforming or perform gender uniquely. And if our society has an ableist and gender essentialist homogeny where people are instructed to internalize social punishment, subordination, ostracizing for deviance as self-blame, the potential double serving of internalizing you are doing things wrong or being weird, leads to harmful, I don't know what that says, a messaging being reproduced to some degree by the general populace consensus of autistic onto other autistics, especially because you have white cis autistics astroturfed as the leading public voices, and especially when considering scenarios like an individual expressing some rationalized trait of gender nonconformity, autism, I think that says, etc., to the general public of autistics, because those traits are always more severely I can't see what that says. I'm sorry. This is so small. It's so hard to read. Sub-oriented? Okay, thank you. That means that there is a huge value in having a compartmentalized, idealized entity you can project the non-masking and or non-passing self into in order to have more control over how close or how far you mentally distance yourself from it while interacting with other people in general. On top of the extra safety of VTubing avatars offer, because they are by default known to the public as one, a work of fiction, not literally your real body or face, and at some level, not really you. And two, not capable of showing you a deep and fluid range of motion or emotion. And three, overwhelmingly racially ambiguous or easily assumed white. The public thinks that most VTubers are overwhelmingly racially ambiguous or easily assumed white. Is that true? Yeah, that makes me feel very uncomfortable. I don't like that. I don't assume anybody is like erasable by what VTuber they are. The common public, barely even what VTubers are. So to make this blanket statement, I need some actual data. That's true. You're like, right, Claw, where's the data? You know, like, I don't assume anything like that. That seems like such a strong statement, but I would never assume anything about anybody. Like, yeah, that's a lot of assumption. Number 4, interesting creative expression when the model avatar has unusual facial physical features or style of dress. And then there's the parasocial aspects, where 5. Because the VTuber model is fictional, some people are unable to distinguish certain projections of media tropes from fiction against real personality traits. And 6, autistic vocalizations of verbal oddities without being able to see the speaker are way less noticeable as odd in quotations. They're the kinds of people who would be assholes because their default worldview is everyone is normal until proven otherwise. Obviously, the voice is still heavily pleased from a gendering and sometimes racialized standpoint, but what would have been weirdo noises in Weird Life are just nonsensically transposed from anime moe culture to be cute, funny, silly noises. And aside from all these factors, there's also the idea that autistics often centralize self-identity around their interests and things that they like, or things that they like to do. So you could apply this to VTubing as visualizing the entity of the non-passing self in a more interest-aligned way, or a way that involves more personal interest in the self. I'm gonna be real, chat. It seems like a lot of yapping, and I don't want to discredit any of this that might actually be true. I'm just gonna say, honestly, chat, I'm over my head on this one. I'm not a professional. I don't think I can speak to this. I'm just gonna keep going. This is over my head. You know, if there's something to be credited in there, by all means, chat, please point it out to me. But I do feel like there's a lot of assumption in here, and I do feel like that there's no facts actually given to support these claims. That's my take on it. So I'm so stupid, but I don't know why. Because I don't know how to end a conversation not awkwardly. And look, it's okay to have an opinion about what you feel about stuff, but like this continued pattern is not okay. So it's reinforced into the person's head by Evil Toaster. The victim in the screenshot confided in me, telling me that they didn't ask for this giant monstrosity. They felt stupid receiving it and not understanding it. I do too. Upon saying I don't know how to end a conversation not awkwardly, Evil Toaster instant response was autistic trait spotted. It's a common trend. I mean, again, I don't know how to respond to this. This is just like, this is so much information that I just have no idea how to respond. You know, like, I wish I knew what to say, but I'm not gonna pretend. If I don't know, I don't know. That's what the professionals are for. A little bit different, but you seem to be a lot better at appearing presentably social than a lot of others. That's such a shit to say. Oh, you seem a lot better at appearing presentably social than a lot of others. Bro. It's more difficult to sense and more outgoing people, I feel, which is why it's hard to see in Nia. Again, continuing to, accuse somebody of being neurodivergent, autistic. Also, fun fact, some people chalk up just being introverted itself as neurodivergent, especially in, I don't understand, especially in deficient models, which kind of sucks. I don't understand that line. I mean, we'll put this up on the shelf for now. I don't really get that. Since there are measurable differences in needs for stimulation and accommodations, they get a similar amount of work done in introverts. Just things like optimal background music volumes being between extroverts and introverts. I like to think I'm quite versed in topics like these, be it about neurodivergency or LGBT plus topics, and autism especially. I mean, here's the thing, chat. There's nothing wrong with educating yourself on a particular topic. And if you are autistic, like Toaster has claimed that they are, and you educate yourself about it, that's great. That's all fine. But why are you pushing this agenda on other people about it? Like, if you know and you're good with yourself and you know everything that you want to know, that's great. That makes you the best at what you do. And if you think that this is something that, obviously you've been diagnosed with, not even self-diagnosed with, but diagnosed with, you want to look more into it and you want to understand it, then fucking more power to you. I think that is fantastic, but just don't push your agenda. That's where the line gets drawn. I seem very knowledgeable. I just want to know if I need more help to grow, I don't want to hurt others to make mistakes. I know making mistakes is part of life, but if I can grow and be better, that'd be great. A friend of mine recently got diagnosed, is having a great time now that she understands what she needs and knows how to help herself. Funnily enough, she is also ADHD and gender fluid, so the chance is quite high. Notice how he said diagnosed and not self-diagnosed. Now have a great time, she understands what she needs and knows how to help herself. Isn't that the point of getting diagnosed? Like, so you can understand. I mean, maybe they meant self-diagnosed, but I'm gonna assume since they didn't say it. Anyway, I wonder what kind of help I would need if I'm diagnosed with it. In my experience, most people kind of just allow themselves to have better self-care. Again, guys, it's possible for me to have the empathy to understand. I feel like that's kind of misrepresenting what having autism is like. They just allow themselves to have better self-care. I don't think that's correct. And feel free to have a discussion with me on that, because I literally cannot understand. I feel like there's some points in here that are like, I don't think that's 100% right, but I'm not the professional. Feel free to correct me if I'm absolutely wrong. A good question. So like, basically if somebody is diagnosed with ADHD, it's like a solid 50% chance they also test for autism. As an actual autistic person, I hate when somebody does bad things and offends everybody to later use diagnose autism as a cop-out. Some people argue they could be the same thing. And I'm not opposed to that idea entirely. If you have ADHD, I want to say that you mentioned that. And you're also trans, so we never tested for autism in my family. 80% chance you would test for autism. Bro, you're not a Where are you pulling these numbers from? My parents, when young, only thought I had trouble concentrating. Very, very high overlap between trans people and autism, fun fact. I don't know if that's true. You know, feel free to hit me the stats on that chat. But really, at the end of the day, like, you know, these numbers and all this arguments here, these numbers are probably BS, but let's say they're real. That still doesn't take away from the fact that they're forcing this diagnosis on other people. These numbers are false, but there's, oh, okay, well, here's some correction. These numbers are false, but there is some validity to a statement. Autism does have correlation to ADHD and transes, but that's not causation, right? While having ADHD and or being trans has an increased chance of being diagnosed with some form of autism, it is not a guarantee. I'll link source materials and documents below. Okay, great. I'm also did a 2-hour call with Blank last night. It was nice. Yes, she told me she's one of us. Did she take that test or no, but she checks all the What? Yeah, I did the test for you. Don't worry. No, she checks all the boxes. Apparently, she's been reading and researching on it already for a long time, which in itself is a box check. Oh, yes, chat. Doing research and educating yourself is a box check. Absolutely, yes. Wow. Holy shit. By me actually educating myself, that is definitely 100% means that I'm diagnosed with whatever it is. Remember, this is just somebody else that he's talking about. So this is a third-party friend going, oh, they're one of us. They're autistic. That's so shit, man. Another example from yet another anonymous individual who was labeled as autistic by ENVtuber. This person screenshotted and requesting information about how ENVtuber viewed them. He elected to label somebody untested and without their consent as autistic. It's just very, like, degrading. That's the right word. Thank you, Scan. Degrading. Yeah, oh, you can't trust the doctor, but trust me. Unfortunately, this one was done entirely in the form of a call on Discord. There's the evidence. Okay, let's take a look. So hi, Tess. I wanted to look into formally getting tested for autism. I was wondering if you could help me understand what that process looks like or you feel is something necessary. A couple things have started coming up in my personal life. I think it'd be beneficial for me to get an understanding of what I struggle with in a neurological and emotional sense. I'm down to sit on a call with you when we both have some free time, or we can discuss it over a text chat, whatever you think is easier. Yee, what's your usual streaming schedule if you have one? Great question. The historical schedule, LOL. But look at that craziness. The historical schedule, okay, if I haven't have a free hour from work within the next couple days, I'll hit you up if I don't see you live. Sounds good. Not self-diagnosed, not medically diagnosed, but a secret third thing peer-reviewed. This makes so much sense to me. Seeing this tweet now. Isn't that okay? You're not a professional. Why are you even offering? I get that somebody reach out to you and you want to be helpful. Give them resources. Don't just accuse people. Give them resources. Be a good friend. Be nice. Be helpful. Don't be a person and just accuse people of something that's not even true or put that pressure on them. That's just not okay. This individual reached out to Toaster for help, hoping that Toaster's experience can help them come to terms and start the process of a professional diagnosis. Exactly. Start the process of a professional diagnosis. Professional. Toaster sent them a tweet that they either thought was funny or relevant, which is not diagnosed, not professionally, but peer-reviewed. I have such a problem with this. It's insane to think that an untrained individual could ever diagnose someone regardless of any experience that they might have personally. The two called, and during the call, ENVtuber once again said that professional diagnosis was unnecessary. Wait, he said that in the call? Okay, so chat, just a reminder, we don't have the call because this is afterwards, right? So all of it was done in a call, but apparently what they're saying in the call was that they said, once again, the professional diagnosis was necessary. Why would you point somebody away from getting professional help? Who in their right mind, that is a friend, or anybody that cares about the human race, why would you point somebody away from a professional diagnosis? After recounting the events that happened on the call me, this individual explained a much more upsetting call, unlike a few others in the same shoes as them. They were not ready for how abrasive ENVtuber was, nor were they ready for how heavily ENVtuber would declare his findings to be, you have autism. Again, just taking these random, like, correlated events and putting them together and going, you know what? You're autistic. That's so wrong. In so many ways, you're not a professional. You're not supposed to diagnose them. You're supposed to help people. You're not helping people. You're actually making it worse. Because you're telling them not to seek professional help where they need professional help. You are literally taking somebody that needs help and telling them not to get help. Chat, that's so damaging. Think about that. That's so damaging. That is horrible. We are all about having a conversation here. And if you disagree with me, that is fine. I love people that disagree with me because you know what? That helps me grow and become a better newscaster and a better person. So I love when people disagree. But I want to make sure that I say this because I don't think there's any disagreement that can be made that doing this type of behavior is okay and hurting other people like this is okay. I think we can all agree on that. Out of everything, you can be like, you know, Elara's take on stuff is stupid. You know, I don't like her. I think she's dumb. You know, her booba's too big. Whatever you want to say, right? But I think we can all look at this right now and say this is not okay. You cannot do this to other people. You can't falsely accuse them of something, and then even worse, point them away from getting the help that they need. The closing statement here, in the middle of making this, I won't lie, I believe it to be a somewhat simple document. I'd read attended discussing conversation in Evil Toaster and a few others, and I'll just post them and I'll give a brief explanation why it's wrong and the victim's view. It wasn't long into the night that I realized the big issue. This involves more than just Evil Toaster and a few anonymous individuals. If I word this wrong, get any information incorrect, or don't do my due diligence and start researching as much as I can. Absolutely. Audio, I will tell you, I am under scrutiny all the time. You gotta get it right, or people will find some way to turn it against you. And I agree with that. Absolutely. So anyway, I had to make sure everything I've learned, I've been taught, and research in the past and present are as accurate as I can be and be sure of. I've done more research on autism than I did in college. I reached out to a few specialists I befriended along the course of my life. I didn't want to be just some guy posting screenshots on the internet, and I appreciate that. Because I'll be real with you, Audio. I'm not an expert. I don't know. And to be honest, I will never know. So these types of educated documents are so helpful for us that don't understand. In writing all this and going through almost 50 screenshots, I realized I needed to center the focus of the document to just as toxic and dangerous behavior in diagnosing those around him with autism. At moments I felt sick at the manipulative behavior, the way he takes his friends and their friendship circles dynamics and guides them along behind the scenes in one-on-ones for his own benefit. And it is very much to his own benefit. I don't know what he's trying to get out of it. We could sit here and put our tinfoil hats about it all day, but it's definitely to establish, in my opinion, a power dynamic. But again, maybe somebody else has a different take on it. I'm a passionate person, but for this, I remain objective to be the voice for those who were too scared to speak up or unable to face the problems they had faced. Hindsight is truly 2020, because oftentimes you don't realize the threats and dangers you've been in, but you've had time to review them. Very true. I hope with this, everybody remains safe. I hope everybody remains informed and trust in themselves. For those who took the time to read this, I thank you. Hope this document didn't offend you in any way. Most importantly, please continue to support our collective crime for a healthy community. Mega base. Mega base document. Everybody give Audio love. This was great. This was a great document. Very well put together. Here's some sources. The link between the autism and trances. What if you're autistic? In the World Health Organization section of autism. Kinds of autism. What's the difference between autism and ADHD? And a more depth look in the Drake Institute. You did a really good job, Audio. This was very thoughtful as well placed. Everything made sense. It flowed. It was definitely very easy to read, and obviously highlighted the main call to action, which is, of course, just their behavior by, diagnosing other people with autism, which is not okay. So, guys, go check out Audio. Looks like it'd be a TwitchCon as well, so maybe you can shake their hand. Buy them a drink. But thank you, Audio. I appreciate that. And again, I'm not a professional. I did not do the research that Audio did, so I really appreciate you putting this out here because it's really educational. For me, I've learned a lot by reading this, and I hope you have too, chat. So let's come together. Let's have our final discussion. I mean, we already know that toaster is cooked. That's already a thing, but this definitely added a lot more evidence. I'm gonna be real, chat. I think about this line a lot. This line just really sent me over the edge. So, chat, please don't go and harass this person. I know that I made a joke at their expense, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but don't go harass this person, all right, chat? Don't do it. They're definitely very creepy, have crossed tons of social boundaries, pushed people into very uncomfortable situations, just really horrible stuff. Well, as you can see here, chat, this document that came out for them, I think it was the day before, or maybe it was that day, but either way, chat, they have gone radio silent for more than a week now. We have heard nothing from Evil Toaster, chat, at all. So there was a new clip that did surface that I want to show you guys. So let's go take a look at that particular clip. Now, Serena's the person that actually created the document. So, please support her. She's so sweet, and we're going to look at her stuff later. So, guys, here is the clip of what Evil Toaster had to say about the knock-knock feature.
There's developing stories on the internet out there from very credible individuals that
Seriously,
I am actually
Wadi?
the worst person to be conceived out of the human race.
What the do you mean developing stories? What developing stories? Now remember, chat, this was before the document dropped. Remember that. The people were giving him heat about it, but there was no developing story at this point. Everybody was like, you responded to this very negatively. We don't really understand why you pushed this agenda of this new thing. There's no developing story. Everybody was like, this is just universally a bad idea, and we're giving you our feedback, and you just could not understand or take that. I feel so bad for Inksy.
Because I told Twitch that this would be a good idea. And it turns out it is. It's crazy. But,
Inksy's so sweet. So chat, this clip was that's certainly not a good look. For Evil Toaster, giving a little bit more context before that document initially came out. Isn't it a dude a creepy guy and that's the issue? Yes, he is. But, it's giving some extra context that we didn't have before, Chaco. Obviously, this post blew up in quite a big way. So I do want to bring it to your attention because this just really supports the fact that this person just does not care what anybody else thinks and is not willing to change. Well, chat, I got some worse news for you. So coming here from Hex, he says, so Evil Toaster just gets to ignore everything going on and just stream like nothing is happening. He's not even going to acknowledge anything. No accountability, no response, nothing. Does this reflect the values of a Twitch ambassador? That's right, chat. Evil Toaster, guess what he's doing? He's streaming anyway. Like nothing's wrong. He's just like, you know what? I know I got called out and I know I'm a creep and I know there's all these receipts for it, but you know what? I'm just gonna pretend like it doesn't exist. Bruh. This is not Twitch ambassador behavior in the least bit. I definitely agree absolutely with what Hex is saying here. You're not gonna be accountable. You haven't responded. You haven't taken any time to take a statement. For those poor girls that had to deal with your BS. Literally burying their head in the sand, just acting like nothing is going on. Absolutely crazy, chat. Now I will let you know, I went by Serena's stream and I did ask her a few questions because I wanted to get her take on how she felt about the whole situation. So guys, let's go tune into her stream a second. I want to show you guys some important things that she had to say. I said, here's my big question. As a victim, what do you think are the appropriate steps forward for them? Do you feel like they need to lose their ambassadorship, be canceled, lose their platform? What do you feel about it? So let's listen to what she had to say about it.
Necessarily the right thing or like the thing that should happen. I'm happy that I got my experience out, other people's experience out, and I'm able to warn people because obviously this behavior won't change. So the only thing that I can do is speak my truth and allow other people to and warn people going forward. Do I think he should lose ambassador? Yes. Here's why. I think they should lose their ambassador status because they represent people that they on.
Literally. Literally, chat. They do not care. They treat people horribly. Overall, chat, I really do 100% agree with that. They need to lose ambassadorship. Now, this is coming from Serena here. She doesn't believe that Toaster needs to be deplatformed. I really want to make sure that I share that with you because I feel like the victim should have the loudest voice. You know what I mean? We can all be angry. We can all be upset. But I do want to listen to what she has to say. If this is what she feels like, I want to make sure that I share that message with all of you. So there was a little bit more to this. Let's listen to what she had to say.
Thanks for the tier 1. It took him this long. He's rude. He's up his own. He doesn't care. He'll stream, he'll vibe, he'll do whatever. So honestly, I don't accept that apology if it happens. And if he has anything to say about anything else, probably not going to be good.
So you have heard it directly from her, chat. If Evil Toaster was to apologize, she would not accept his apology. And neither would I. I really don't feel like there's any words that you can say that would make this okay, but I think it's really important to hear from a victim, the person that wrote the document, what her take is on what's happening. So I think that's really important. Now, chat, I don't want you to think that, they have gotten off. They're going to ignore this and that's over because that is not the case at all. Let's go take a look here. I want to go look at Evil Toaster's stats because let's go take a look at this, chat. Beforehand, this guy's got a pretty, he's got some averages going on. I mean, probably a rate here, minus 271 followers, minus 19 followers, minus 67 followers. It ain't looking good. Womp womp. Yeah, chat. So definitely, certainly taking a hit. The nosedive is certainly there. But I think one thing to remember is look at the max viewers here. You can see the max viewers are definitely a little bit higher besides this day and this other day. But you can clearly see right here, this is just way lower. So it's definitely hurt his channel. I don't think that he's gotten away with this at all. I think people certainly are seeing it. Definitely taking quite a big hit. Obviously trying to stream a lot just to offset it. Yeah, no, it didn't work. So obviously, chat, I'm glad there is some justice being served here. I'm glad everybody is on one page. Evil Toaster is just not a good person. And I have to say this, I think it's very important that all of us, especially the newstubers, that we all come together right now instead of critiquing each other on coverage and critiquing each other on difference of opinion. I think we all need to come together, especially right now, and point out how bad this person is. All the newstubers and everybody covering this, we really need to come together and talk about how this person is just what they did is not okay. That's it. So that is my update today on Evil Toaster, chat.